Welcome to another Tellurian 22 video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's a small action for you guys, but it means the world to us.
Corvites. These lousy Corvites are pretty much universally disliked, which will probably not come as much of a surprise to anyone remotely familiar with their species. They are one of the few sapient avian species found throughout Tellurian, with two feathered wings as their arms that end at their hands, talons on their feet, and a sharp beak with an even sharper tongue. Metaphorically speaking, I've yet to meet a race with a literal sharp tongue, but it would be fascinating. Corvites are a shorter race than most, averaging about 3 feet in height, with some of the tallest members of the species only reaching around 4 feet. Their wingspan ranges from about 5.5 to 9 feet in length, and they weigh around 30 to 70 pounds. Corvites are generally almost entirely black or other muted dark colors, with a glossy plumage that can sometimes appear to have hues of purple or dark blue in certain lights. Corvites are very chaotic and mischievous by nature, but usually end up coming across as very rude to beings they don't know. They also tend to be obsessed with collecting and gathering all things shiny. Corvites are generally extremely close with one another and will take any slight lobbed at one of their kin very personally. Their ability to hold grudges, sometimes for even generations, would be quite remarkable if it wasn't so annoying. I'm still on bad to neutral terms with a lot of them because of something my grandfather did. Corvite culture tends to function around the philosophy of "I'll do it tomorrow," i.e., it takes forever for anything to get done. But when they put their minds to something, they can be a powerful force of nature, as they will do anything for one another. There was an incredibly famous conflict where the Corvites waged war against a particularly notorious dragon. I will not name them here because we have a history, long story. The war was fought over a treasure dispute that eventually led to a non-aggression pact between all of dragon kind and the Corvites. Before that, it led to an infamous day known as the Week Without Sun, where over 10,000 Corvites took shifts covering the sky and the surrounding area. It should go without saying, but Corvites possess a remarkable flying prowess, though nothing compared to a race like the Egalians. As one anchored to the ground, any flight is remarkable in my eyes. They can reach speeds of around 30 miles an hour, which is faster than many species can even run. On the ground, they aren't very fast, so unless their wings are injured, they escape most dangerous situations. They have incredibly keen eyesight and can see much further than most races. This seems to be a common trait with most avian species. However, unlike most of them, Corvites also have remarkable night vision, which is a pretty uncommon trait among species. While they are good at evasion, they aren't all that strong physically. Their hollowed bones don't hold up to much damage and can break quite easily. To offset this, Corvites tend to be more ranged fighters, only using their talons as a last resort. Their weapons of choice tend to be bows, as they can be excellent archers, but this isn't as formalized as it is in Egalian society. You'll find that just as many Corvites prefer throwing knives or even using rudimentary magic instead. While Corvites can come off as rude, vengeful tricksters, if you end up on their good side, you may never find a more loyal companion, besides maybe the Candids. They are very protective of their own, which can often does extend to specific beings outside their race, and that is not necessarily a negative quality. In fact, it can be quite admirable, even if it's a bit tribalistic. Corvites tend to live in shacks high in the trees in most major forests on the northern continent to some degree or another. They called these villages murders. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I imagine a Corvite thought it was funny and named one that at some point in their history, and it stuck. Each murder easily houses around 1,000 members spread throughout the canopy of a forest. though that can range wildly. They are tolerant enough to all races except Nagas, whom they have a strong dislike for, unlike the dragons, who are now seen neutrally for the most part. None is clear why out of all races they make no real exception for the Nagas. I'm not even sure if any of them know. The problem is in visiting the Corvites lies in reaching them, as they are only really accessible if you fly or are incredibly good at climbing. Their rooms for rent essentially located in a small alcove with a singular bed made of twigs, which are quite small and nothing soft to help get you comfortable. Not worth the climb, but they usually have a killer view, 3 out of 10. The only goods they tend to sell are foods which consist of mostly nuts, fruit, and insects. Pack a lunch before visiting, trust me. Be warned, if you are to visit, know that their concept of currency is quite unique and a little lacking, to say the least. They will only take shiny coins as currency and refuse all transactions with paper money, or even slightly rusted coins that have lost their shine. They may offer a chance to barter or trade, but of course, only if you have something shiny to give in return.